They have another sex creep problem. Have you seen this guy, Graham Platner, up in Maine? He's their big hope to take the Senate, the Democrats. But Graham Platner, he's a lot. You know, he's got a Nazi tattoo. We don't know about that. Maybe it was just drunk. He didn't know it was, whatever. But a lot of stuff. Now stuff about his, you know, he definitely was sexting other women outside of his marriage. Now some of the girlfriends are coming forward. One of them says he used to watch TV while he was sharpening his axe, which could cost him women and their vote. But he did win over Stephen King. You know, it's Maine.
You know, it's funny because he's not even taking the most bizarre claims about Platner masturbating in Porta Sands. And, you know, I mean, there's other verified claims on Platner that he's not even touching.
Well, they're rolling out all the time. I mean, you can't keep up.
It's on the poly market how long it's going to be in between devastating claims.
Right now, I'm guessing. I don't know if you are voting in the primary in Maine today, or you're still voting in California. Because
I voted absentee in Maine, which I'm legally allowed to do under Democratic House rules. Yeah, no, I could vote today under California rules. I mean, you could write in your own mail-in ballot date on the mail-in ballot.
I heard, postmarks don't count.
No, you can write it in.
No, that was from last week.
Right, I could write it in today. And according to Mark Halperin, hobos are allowed to vote, quote unquote. Haven't heard the term hobos since Boxcar Willie was selling albums on late night TV.
I just heard, what was it? Stephen Pressfield was describing the difference between tramps, hobos, and bums.
And vagrants. Vagrants are bums, yeah.
Right. He was like, tramps are itinerant workers, hobos are itinerants who don't work. And it was like, there actually is a delineation between all of these.
There's a pecking order. There's a pecking order. Yeah.
I'd never heard that before.
But, I mean, Nithya Raman, my city councilwoman, seems to be celebrating now. And the election is going to be very interesting because before Pratt came into existence, Bass and Raman had a secret agreement to run against each other. They're best girlfriends, by the way, and they're both socialists, and they have the exact same policies. So the deal was that Raman would run against Bass, kind of like the Washington Generals playing the Harlem Globetrotters. If anybody knows that analogy, thank you for stopping by. She will then be the next mayor. Raman will then get Bass's endorsement in 4 years to transfer the torch to a new generation of socialists from Bass to Raman. So other than the Pratt uprising, this was planned from the beginning for a long time for the two of them to run against each other, Eric.
We've talked about it. You talked about it long before the election, everything else. But let's catch up because you just, you threw out there Mark Halperin, blah, blah, blah. Really, there was an exchange, and Larry on the show, I think, expressed the frustration from the right very well. And they had a bit of a spat, if you will.
Let me just interject. This is from a show that we watch and a lot of political junkies watch called The Morning Meeting, two-way with Mark Halperin and Larry, and this guy here now is the co-host.
Yes, they replaced Sean Spicer, Dan Turrentine, since the show's been around. These are the new permanent hosts. Yeah. And they're not bad.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Kevin, Larry, just say I agree with Kevin. There's no fraud. There's no evidence of fraud. And we should all just urge California to fix their system.
Well, why? If there's no fraud, why should they fix their system, Mark? What's wrong?
Because they shouldn't count,
just to make it faster.
They count too slowly.
I see. So they should steal an election faster for everybody to see. I'll tell you what.
Hold on. Well, you go, then I'll go. Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because two things can be true at the same time. There can be no illegality and still have a rigged system. Okay. The biggest scandal coming out of California right now is that nothing we're seeing is against the law.
That's right.
The biggest scandal is this is the legal process in California. If Nicolas Maduro had a system like this in Venezuela, we'd send in the SEAL team to arrest him. All right. We
Larry,
would never
Larry,
allow a
just
system like this.
Just to clarify, are you saying anything beyond that they count slowly? Are you saying the system?
Oh, no. It's well beyond counting slowly. Give
What
me a
else?
moment to just
Go
lay
ahead.
out
Explain
exactly
it,
what they
Larry.
do.
Please do.
Number one, they send a ballot out to every single registered voter, and you can
Correct.
register in the state of California by basically sneezing at the DMV. There's no check for ID. There's no check for citizenship or that you're a legal entitled voter. Number one. Number two, by their own admission, they have not purged their voter rolls. I lived in LA 15 years ago, and I got an email from the LA County Registrar saying your ballot has been mailed to you. These ballots are all live. They can be delivered up to 7 days after election day. They don't need to be postmarked, as long as they're dated before Election Day, and there's no ID for mail-in ballots, and there's no witness requirement. There's a signature, but they don't check the signature of the witness, and the signature of the voter is not filled out. You can leave a mark, okay? Number one. So that's the whole system that they have there. Number two, Mark, you said that she had a late surge of votes. What's remarkable is a good percentage of that late surge all came from Skid Row, homeless people living in tents that just
Let me just
all
interject a
happened to vote
couple
for
of things
Nithya.
that Larry has left out because of brevity, because it's not the entire system. He's just being quick in his answer to Mark. The ballot harvesting, harvesting is a euphemism for picking up and delivering votes from other people. That started out, all of this stuff evolved. That started out as a family member could take your grandmother's ballot, Eric, if your grandmother lived in the same domicile as you and you're going to mail it in with yours. That's how it started.
Yeah.
What evolved from that was an outside entity could pick up your ballot.
Your neighbor could do it.
What evolved from that was union volunteers could now pick up your ballot. The same unions that have endorsed Karen Bass can now have volunteers because they have tons of volunteer foot people who can now go around and pick up your ballots. They can go to a nursing home and pick up 350 ballots of every resident who's there, whether they filled it out or not, and bring it in. They could take them from Skid Row, as he was saying, and have them dumped in one dump on one night for 40,000 votes by Nithya Raman in one particular night, and call the election the next day, which is essentially what happened here. I believe that they hastened the normal pace of stealing the election because the spotlight was on them. The 40,000 vote dump is not traditionally how they steal it. They dribble it out for a number of weeks, which is what happened with Rick Caruso and Karen Bass 4 years ago. Because of the heat, they went for the quick slam dunk, and now 97% of the ballots have been counted. That's not traditionally how they do it. They did that quickly to get this thing over with because the heat was closing in on them. Mark Halpern saying that there's been no fraud and that the federal prosecutor said there's nothing here to see. Bill Maher was on Glenn Beck yesterday saying you can expect indictments between 1 to 2 months from today because he's gathering evidence to indict people for voter fraud in the state of California. This is what he said. This is the prosecutor of Los Angeles, federal prosecutor, who is going after them. I believe they should seize the actual physical space with the ballots in it, which is a warehouse in the city of Industry. Ask the people to leave now that the counting is over and physically seize the space as evidence for their investigation before they begin to throw these corrupt ballots out, which is what they're going to do now that Raman has been declared one of the two winners. Maher and Harmeet Dillon have to bring in U.S. federal marshals to just physically secure the crime site, Eric. Am I wrong here? Or
no.
Well, I mean, that's the minimum they could do at this point.
Well, that and Spencer Pratt needs to step up, and he's got to be at court with a lawsuit immediately. It's to get judges to freeze it. You want everybody to lock the building down and to freeze it, and it would be ideal to not just have the administration, but literally have the court say, lock it down, freeze all this for evidence, whatever.
Well, all you would need would be literally a search warrant from a judge for the factory space at the city in the city of Industry. The search warrant itself would allow them to yellow tape the entire building, I believe.
I think so. Now, one specific note of consideration, I was looking at the graphs and where it really demonstrates how insane this is it's not just Spencer Pratt not getting the votes. Kara Bass isn't getting the votes either.
She didn't need them.
Line going
right.
up this button hook. That's like, how is that even possible? No, normal trajectory would be some for them, some for them, some for them. Not 80.
That was the night she got
this person.
That was the night she got the 40,000 dump. Yeah. But the reality of it is they took 10 years to craft this system. It didn't happen overnight. They have made this bulletproof. The reason they are so confident is because they know they've made an impenetrable legal system of voting that cannot be pierced. You can pick off a black woman like they did in Marina Del Rey for paying people to get signatures on the ballot. But so what? She's going to do 3 months in jail. She's a human sacrifice. Who cares about that? They've created and they've put so much thought into this to create this Soviet-style system that the county registrar himself went to the Soviet Union and went to China to study their style of voting in 2 totalitarian regimes. He didn't go to France. He didn't go to the UK. He went to Russia and China. It's since been stripped from his website bio, but I read it for a number of years when it was up there that he was bragging that he went to these 2 places to see how they ran elections. And what he learned helped them to craft this incredibly impenetrable system that has multiple bells and whistles for them to cheat in reverse. It has bells and whistles that can't be penetrated, Eric, such as what Larry's briefly describing. There are many others. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm going to let it continue because I do like the exchange. I think he does such a good job of illuminating a lot of the issues. And you get to see the blind spot of Mark Halperin, who I would argue represents not only a lot of leftist positions, but a lot of a rhino position where it's like, I'm a coward.
He's an institutionalist, Eric, right? He's an institutionalist.
Absolutely.
This is his world. If you say the elections are corrupt and he's written books about elections, then by default, he's part of that corrupt system.
Exactly. But and he's going to stand in for that. So Larry's standing in for the voice of the aggrieved
Raman in the final hours of the election. Guys, again, it's all legal. I'm not claiming any fraud, and I'm not claiming any law has been broken. But that's the scandal, that this is the legal system that they put in place.
100%. But just to clarify, 100%. And those of you in the chat, listen to Larry and get on board with saying, how could the Republican Party be so incompetent that in a state that has more Republicans than any other state in the country, they can't get those laws changed by just pointing out how outrageous it is?
Even Kevin on the side is kind of going,
you couldn't get a bill through the assembly with all the money in China in this state. He blames the Republicans for getting raped. Or graped in this case.
No, it's perfect. Even Kevin, as he's saying it, the guy on the right is the Democrat, and he's just kind of looking like, I'm not getting on this one. Oh my God, I can't believe you're saying that. But here we go.
I'm sorry. Oh, no. This is one party rule in that state. It doesn't matter how many Republicans they are.
Larry, it is one party rule.
State, and everything I just described is designed that the Democrats have put in place for 30 years.
100%.
So you're blaming Republicans for letting Democrats put this in place?
I'm saying what a level of incompetence by the Republican Party that
it's insane.
With an argument as powerful as you just made, they can't win elections and change the system.
Wait. How about why don't you have some criticism for the corruption of the Democrats for creating?
He does. Yes.
I do. It's an outrageous system.
Yes, it's outrageous.
It's the Republicans' fault. Blame the victim in this whole
It's not.
thing.
It's the Republicans.
It's not an
victims.
outrageous system. It is a brilliant system created by Soviet masterminds. Again, I give them all the credit in the world. It took them 10 years. Piece by piece by piece, legal piece, to put this impenetrable system together, and they have created a system that you can't pick it apart no matter where you go. Who are you going to indict? Where is your evidence? It's the system itself. Larry is completely correct. It's not a slow count. as the media likes to say. It's not the fact that they secure it by counting. Let me explain the movement of the goalpost now. The mainstream media out here has moved the goalposts on this argument previously from Trump conspiratorial voter fraud from 2020 argument to the new argument, which is it appears to be corrupt. And there's nothing we can do about that, but there's no evidence of corruption. The entire goalpost has been moved to where we know that it appears corrupt, but there really is no corruption, but it gives the appearance of corruption. That is a new argument by the mainstream media. The old argument was you're a Trump conspirator, you're a 2020 election denier. That's gone. That's gone. They're not using that anymore. It's now we know it looks bad, but really there is no fraud at all. It just looks bad.
Just our weird little system here. We just do things a little differently.
And anytime you point out that there's no state or nation on the earth that does this, they become glassy-eyed and have cognitive dissonance from that one pushback baby argument that nobody on the planet Earth does this. They have no answer to that argument, which is not even an argument. It's merely pointing it out. They can't even defend the system with the simplest of pushbacks that no country or state has this on the earth itself. Why does the state of California need to have a system that can count for a month, that can have ballots come in a week after they're postmarked, can have no voter ID?
No postmark needed.
Right. And you can use a gym membership card as a photo ID to register to vote. There's a million other bells and whistles involved in this thing, which I'll read in a second. But nevertheless, what is it about California that separates it from 49 other states and the entire nations of the world to have this system? And there's no answer. They could just crickets come out of their mouth when you say that.
I think they know what the answer is. Kevin on the right definitely knows what that answer is. Let's continue.
Lies on such outrage. But the first instance is the problem is with the Democrats who want a system that is unaccountable and ridiculous. But I'll say again, Larry, none of the things you outlined offer any evidence that the election was stolen from Spencer Pratt.
I know you don't think stolen. It's been legally stolen. It can be stolen and still be legal.
You don't have any evidence that anyone voted illegally in the election. You have evidence that people could easily have done it.
It's all within the law. No, Mark, I'm telling you, it's all within the law. You keep putting words in my mouth. I started out by saying
he does, and that's why this is so good. I mean, because Larry does a good job holding it up, and you can see Mark trying so hard to reframe it every way, and it gets even snarkier as it goes. And then he's like, "Well, let's stop the snark," which I think is kind of funny too, because Larry's not letting him off the hook on it.
I don't blame him.
System, Larry, what you described is a system in which people could vote twice. People could vote illegally.
No, I didn't say that.
Well, okay, you're not even going that far. My point.
By the way, that's called straw manning.
Yes,
what Halpern is doing is throwing up.
Very good at this.
You're saying that, and he's not. He's not saying. He's been very specific in his
saying that you're saying this.
That's a straw man.
Which is a cognitive, but it's also a cognitive dissonance device. You know, that the people listening go, "Oh yeah, I don't remember what he just said 5 seconds ago, but Mark just reminded me that he didn't say what he said 5 seconds ago." And numerous times on this show, they demand a replay of the tape. And when I'm home watching it, I simply scroll backwards, and of course, Mark's lying.
Yes, and
they never go back in real time. They never, when he says, "Let's take a look at the video," they never do that. But you at home can do it.
That's 100% true. And you know what else you can do? You can always clip it and you could share it on X or elsewhere and say, "Hey, look, he lied here." And I will just say again, though, whenever you hear "so you're saying," followed by a statement, that is a straw man. It's like a perfect signal. Straw man incoming.
Great point.
But really great exchange. I won't dwell on it.
Well, I don't have to dwell on it, but I want to point out a couple of things here. This is the letter that people are receiving all across California right now. This letter is saying your signature does not match the signature on file for your mail-in ballot. This is for people who have had the mail-in ballots and been doing this for 20 years and have had their signature on file. There's nothing you can do about this now because this signature, what are you going to do? Go to Sacramento, dedicate your life to comparing your signature to what's on file? I have never seen this letter before. This is a new level, again, moving the goalpost. This is new. This was mailed to tons and tons of voters who have received this letter claiming your ballot is now invalid. Let me just go over briefly the requirements to vote in California, how weak they are. Number one, no interaction with the DMV is required to register. It can be done online here. There's a register online website. Number two, no California driver's license number, no California ID, social security number is required. If you don't have either, you can still register. You'll be assigned a quote unquote unique identifier to validate your registration. So if you have nothing on the earth, you simply have to print out your application, sign it, mail it into the county elections office. No ID is required to vote. You may need to show ID only if all of the following apply. You're voting for the first time in a federal election. You registered by mail or online. You did not provide your California ID or social security number. This is the complete list of types of ID. I'm not going to get into the list, but they are very weak. Number five, California has only mailed in ballots to registered voters in 7 elections since 2020. Okay, this goes on and on of different things that you need, but the reality of it is that there are 23 million voters in the state of California. For instance, in this election, only 3 or 4 million people went to the polls and voted. So that means that 15, just being generous, 15 million absentee ballots are physically floating in the state, Eric. Just they're around. We don't know where they are. They're in hallways. They're in front of buildings. They are somewhere. Now take a look at what's going on in the gubernatorial, because that's still
somehow the guy with the money is able to come up with these missing ballots. It's
right, because
like
he's buying them.
What's happening? I'm confused.
5 million votes so far, 850,000 votes left. There's 850,000 votes left mathematically. Steyer is now 200,000 behind Hilton. So of the 17% that's still out there, which is 850K, 5 million have voted. Steyer needs to get 200K out of the 850K that are still floating out there to be counted. Just keep that in mind as Steyer continues to climb on Steve Hilton, who seems to be celebrating that he's in something that he may not be in by the end of the month, because Steyer and this count is going to continue on. The fact of the matter is these ballots are somewhere. They're mail-in ballots, and they're not 100,000 of them. There's 15, and I'm being generous because it could be 20. There's 15 million. Well, who cares? Let's say there's 10 million. Let's be super generous. There's 10 million absentee ballots, mail-in ballots floating out there in the universe. And all he needs is 200,000 of them, Tom Steyer, to get into the final lightning round of the jungle primary. We're supposed to believe that a guy who's already spent $250 million on this election is going to go, okay, I'm done. I don't have to continue this. I just spent $250. Wait a minute. You've got some absentee ballots I could buy? How many? Well, we've got 500,000 you could buy for $250,000. Okay, here's a check. You know my name, my number. Just send it over. That's how it's done. That's how it's done. How you prove that that's how it's done is not up to me as a policeman. You know what I mean? The reality of it is they've created this system by mailing out 23 million freaking ballots, Eric, into the universe. What do you expect those things to become? They can become garbage, or they can become valuable currency. During an election season, they become valuable currency. They are picked up by gang members. They are picked up by criminals. They are brought to a place where they're compiled. They are saved. They are sold in bundles. I know this is complicated for people like Mark Halperin, who doesn't understand American politics, no matter how many fucking books he writes. He has no idea how American politics works at the street fucking level, this guy, despite himself being an expert on politics, or so he claims, having interviewed Bill Clinton 5 times. The reality of it is the American left has been taught in college and universities that there has been corruption in American urban, there's been corruption in American urban elections for 175 years, of Chicago, where they laugh about Chicago elections under Mayor Daley. They laugh about Tammany Hall. They laugh about LA's elections. The funny, psychoactive, twisted thing is they don't believe it exists anymore because this is their lifetime. There is no fraud in LA elections. There is no fraud in Chicago elections. There is no fraud in New York City elections, even though they acknowledge a long history of fraud going back to the Civil War. It suddenly doesn't exist any longer.
Stop, Mark. It was a miracle.
Yeah. And they just have complete cognitive dissonance that there's any fraud in urban elections any longer in their adult lifetimes. It has miraculously, even though they'll acknowledge throughout American history, urban elections have been corrupt, all of a sudden they're not corrupt any longer. It's That's astounding.
True. And people in California study with the best, as you could see.
Well, you know, when she went to meet with Castro 34 times, I mean, could you, I mean, it's astounding. You know, I can only say, you know, if somebody had gone to meet with Joseph Stalin during the Cold War 34 times and then ran for mayor of a city or governor or president, I think it might be an issue.
Well, in fairness, Bernie Sanders tried, but Stalin was already dead.
He was already dead, yeah.
So he just at least did his honeymoon there and met with others. But, you know.
He met with whoever was in charge. But
exactly. So he tried.
This is going to be an interesting gubernatorial situation because Becerra, who is a stooge of the Biden Democratic machine, wants to run against Steve Hilton. Tom Steyer wants to get in against Becerra or Hilton. He couldn't give a shit. So he's spending his capital on every corrupt angle he could find to get into the final two, which I believe will be eventually Steyer and Becerra. But even if it's Hilton and Becerra, Hilton will lose probably 65-35 in that election.
Ironically, yeah, I think that if it's Steyer and Hilton got in, he would probably lose 55-45. He would probably do better against Steyer than
Becerra. Absolutely, because he doesn't have the machine in back of him that Becerra does, the Democratic California machine. I've said this for years. The only guy who can automatically win an election in California is a Latin male. And there seems to be very few of them who are willing to go out there. This was the only one they could find, which is Becerra, and he's as corrupt as the day is long. But any Latin man who is not an axe murderer can win an election in California because of the ethnic makeup of the state. And the idea that Steve Hilton, born in London, could defeat a Latin man from the state of California who has been attorney general and everything else is absurd. It's absurd. I don't know what planet these fucking Fox people are living on. When he started to run, I said, this is one of the most absurd candidacies in American history. Give me a fucking break. This bald-headed British guy born in London is going to defeat a Mexican-American in California? What fucking planet is this going to happen on, jerk off?
I can't remember. I think Halpern is the one who thought he was Australian.
That's funny. That's funny.
I don't remember which one.
That's funny. Yes, we know. Yes, we know. Autistic people. He's technically American. Stop writing already in on the comments. We already know that.
That's true. That's true. Well, you know what? Before we go on, because we got all heated up and we need a little bit of cheering up. And what makes me super happy, I'm really proud to say we got another sponsor.
What?
And I would like to share it with all of you right now. It's a surprise from Mark, too.
Okay, it's a surprise from me.
That's right. Quick debrief for everyone here who's on Medicare or about to be. There's something that most people don't realize. The plan you picked might not be the plan that actually fits your life right now. And through all the noise, the mailers, the commercials, the robocalls, it can feel daunting to even take another look. Your doctors change, your prescriptions change, Plans update their coverage every year, and nobody's helping you keep up. That's why we're pointing folks to Chapter. They make Medicare dead simple. One call, one advisor, you tell them your doctors, your prescriptions, what matters to you, and they do the rest. They compare every plan available nationwide, not a handful, every plan, and they come back to you with what actually fits. No pressure, no agenda. If your current plan is the right one, they'll tell you that. If it's not, they'll help you find one that fits better. Last year, folks found new plans with Chapter saving more than $1,000 on average. It's free. It won't take you more than 20 minutes. Good intel is crucial, so call Chapter today at 855-627-1487. Again, call today at 855-627-1487 and get the best information possible. And seriously, one thing I love about this particular sponsor is it is free to anybody who's calling in. They have to allow people to consult for that. The company Chapter doesn't get paid by the people calling. They get paid by the government. So it is a useful tool. Give it a try. And
I'm going to try.
It just makes total.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to try.
You should. I mean,
okay, I'm in on
yourself, it. But yeah, you might.
When I get there, if there's still a sponsor, I urge them to stick around so Hunley and I can use it when we do eventually get there. But thanks for the sponsorship. Great read. I just wanted to point out this breaking story today in the New York Post, Eric, with Nithya Raman giving this check to a homeless organization that apparently has a lot of people registered to vote, but nobody lives there. Part of this storyline of this bombshell thing. Here's the picture. This is Nithya Raman holding up this check that she awarded this imaginary homeless shelter this money. And this picture has been taken down from her website. This came from the website. And they refused to respond to inquiries by the New York Post regarding the obvious fraud that she's involved in here. They have a list in the article of various nonprofits and various drug and alcohol treatment centers, including the Mission downtown that refused to say where all these people were. They are in dire need of addresses for the scam to work. Keep this in mind. When you register a homeless person or a person who physically doesn't exist, who's on some roll getting benefits, and you put his name down, you have to have an address. Now, the address could be a homeless shelter. It could be a drug and alcohol facility that has an outpatient facility and has no beds. It doesn't matter.
Hobos can vote. Mark said.
Right. Hobos can vote. So you need to complete the fraud to have the list of the name. You need an address. And what this does is it shows you in the article the various addresses that they used for these homeless ploy absentee ballots to be sent in and also received. You could receive them that way as well, or simply, like I said, buy them from the Armenian gangs that sell them in bundles, or you can use one of the 837,000 dead voters. And when I say dead, it doesn't mean they're physically dead. Some are dead. Many have moved out of state. Many have not voted in decades. Many have disappeared. Whatever the reason is, what Tom Fenton found from Judicial Watch, went to court and was victorious, was the uncovering of 837,000 fraudulent voters on the California rolls. The court ordered the state of California, Rob Bonta, the attorney general, to delete and clean up these rolls. He told them to go fuck themselves. So 837,000 additional voters who don't exist, whose names are real, are able to be used as fraudulent names on these elections. 837,000. I think you can sway an election by possibly using 50,000 of them and purchasing, which you can do. You can purchase dead voter lists of 10,000, 15,000, 100,000, whatever you want out of that
marketplace, Mark.
It is a marketplace. That's what I'm trying to fucking explain to this retarded nation of ours who don't know a thing about election fraud. And rightfully so. They shouldn't know anything about it. I'm not even castigating them. This was handed down to me by my grandfather, who was a machine politician in Brooklyn under the Meade Esposito crime syndicate of Democratic politics back in the 1950s. My grandfather was the campaign manager to the mayor of New York. All of this stuff I learned at his knee. Out here, it's no different. You could go back to 1941 with the special election of LBJ against Pappy O'Daniel. I didn't see what that said there.
But I mean, you can still have value even after death.
Right. It's true. I mean, the 1941 election that LBJ lost in the special runoff against Pappy O'Daniel, who used to be the governor of the great state of Texas, taught LBJ and his obscure campaign manager, John Connolly, that we'll get them next time. What was their mistake? They turned in, by their own admission, their final tallies to the state registrar. That was their blunder. They turned it in, and Pappy O'Daniel was able to beat them. Now, the reason a couple of years later it didn't work with Box 13 down there in southern Texas was because Johnson and Connolly had learned in 1948 not to turn in your final freaking tallies until your opponent has. It's a lesson in democratic politics, which has been done now at the state level since 1948. In other words, these red counties in California, the Republican-run counties, turned in their votes
immediately. They're like, oh, we're done. Okay, let's go to dinner.
2,919 for this person, 1,000, and they go, are you sure you're done? Yes. Okay, well, the cities are going to take a little longer. Well, you didn't say that initially. Well, it's the cities, and now we know by coincidence, just a coincidence, we know the exact final number of your votes. We now know how many votes the other side has. That's all we got to do is top that number. And that's what LBJ demonstrated in 1948 with John Connolly down in Texas. And that was the legend that was passed on from father to son within the Democratic Party. That's now done statewide, usually with the urban metropolis. And it doesn't have to be a metropolis. It could be Memphis in the middle of Tennessee. It could be Nashville doing it. But you'll notice that every single time, the cities will wait until the Republican rural areas, suburban rural counties turn in their final votes, and then they take their time to top that. It's all they have to do is top the final tally sent in from the rest of the state. Fill in the blank, whatever state it is. It doesn't matter.
That's why states like Florida went from being terrible to being one of the best, because Florida literally says all votes are counted by this time. So all the mail-in ballots, they're already counted.
Yep.
So on election day, they already know what the mail-in ballots are. There's no votes defined. Everything's got to be in person, and that's your final.
If you don't have a ticking clock on the cities, they will steal the election every single time. You're allowing them the leeway to steal the election because they know the final vote of red counties within that state. That gives them the green light. They're almost saying like, oh my God, they're encouraging us to do it, Bob. By doing this, you have to have everyone turn in whatever they have, pencils down, pass your papers to the front. That means you, Billy, no more writing on this final exam. You have to pass your papers to the front. Yeah, that's part of it, Mike. It is a politeness problem, but it never used to be because they had Roy Cohn, they had Roger Stone, they had Lee Atwater. They just don't have anybody any longer to go to war for them.
True, but kind of like we fought for in 2024, a lot of it was to make it too big of a gap that they can't count and they can't find enough to do it.
Okay,
that's the ultimate. Now in California, obviously, that's a very difficult problem.
It's a 2-to-1 ratio.
Minnesota is
when you have a 2-to-1 ratio and registered voters of the other party, what you're professing is not mathematically possible. So what they've done to solidify power is create these impenetrable voting machines with multiple levels and multiple devices that allow them to remain in power. You'll see the numbers here up on the board. 23 million May of 2026. In 2006, it was 15 million. So It increased by 8 million, the total voters. Democratic, you see 10 million now, 6 million in 2020, 26. The 20-year increase of 3 million, only 391,000 increase in the Republican Party. And no party preference seems to be doing very well. Whoever they are.
No party preference is probably where the Republicans are hiding.
Yeah. Those are the independents who don't want to be burned out of their homes, who really are Republicans. But yeah, I mean, these numbers are quite real and incredibly hard to do business. You know, that's why Harmeet Dillon has to protect the civil rights of people who are in the minority, Eric, who are being trampled upon. There is nothing in the Bill of Rights. There's nothing in the Constitution that ensures the right for Americans to vote. It is not a right to vote. There is nowhere where you have a right to vote. All it does is have some protections for minorities to vote, which is more than you have as a right to vote. Let me put it that way. So any court, the reason the courts don't get involved is because there is no right to vote. There's nothing for them to hang their hat on.
Right.
I mean, you can look it up. You can go look it up right now if you want, but you're not going to find any right to vote.
True. Now let's we'll shift gears. So, you know, if you think things are hot in California, I would bet that right now it's probably a little bit hotter outside of a courthouse in Texas, because Carmelo Anthony has officially been found guilty, not of manslaughter. At the last minute, they put manslaughter as a possible charge, or, you know, something he could be convicted of. And I think they put that in to try to quell any
negligent homicide.
Right, but it's a manslaughter charge. It literally was the manslaughter drop. So they put that at the last minute. They didn't take it. They said this is murder. So
you're talking about the jury?
That's correct. The jury convicted him of murder, not manslaughter, and he is facing 5 to 99 years. So big range here. I mean, it's a huge range. I covered it with Nate this weekend on Layback Law. If people want to hear about the sentencing or whatever else, I'm guessing it's probably going to be 10 to 20 because of the imperfect self-defense claim that they're going to probably try to do in the sentencing. But I think it's appropriate. He went way overboard. I mean,
okay, all right.
Well, I mean, it's really hard to
way overboard.
Just justify this at all. You could say yes. Austin Metcalf pushed his shoulder slightly. That doesn't mean stab the guy to death.
I don't even know. I said this was an open and shut case from day one. This is not even a debatable case to me that's worth debating because it's an open and shut case. I'm glad they did it. It's nice to see justice done. You know, whether they're yelling and screaming outside, that's on them. That's just some crazy people. But the reality of it is, for the most part, Eric, this was an open and shut case.
Yeah, and it was interesting too because the everything kind of went off the rails when the defense were calling witnesses, and their own witnesses were saying, "Yeah, no, Anthony was the aggressor." I'm like, "That's your witness?"
No, there was no defense. They should have thrown themselves. The guy wasn't offering a plea deal, so there was nothing they could do. They had to go to trial, and rightfully so. I mean, the guy should get life in prison without parole or the electric chair, but he won't. But that would be my take on it.
Well, he can't. He can't get the electric chair because he was not an adult when he did the crime. So it's
right. No, but I'm saying in a true justice, he should be killed for what he did.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm sorry. It's just my opinion. It may not fit in with the letter of the law there, but
okay. Well, I mean, I was gonna say, but no matter what, either way, it's because of the age and everything. Legally, he can't.
No, of course. Now, what about this FISA bill? What are you hearing about that with our friend Bill Pulte? You hearing anything?
You'll have to tell me.
Well, it's all over the news.
Bill Pulte.
No, the deep state finds him to be unqualified. That's the only ones who find him to be repulsive is the deep state. Other people are cheering for Bill Pulte, and the deep state is holding the FISA renewal bill hostage, and I'd like to get rid of FISA.
Yeah, I was going to say don't renew it. Problem solved.
Problem solved. I don't know what the pundits are talking about. I am completely opposed to secret courts.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, these are the rhinos and the deep state who are opposed to Bill Pulte, a guy that Trump trusts to run this thing. and they're saying, well, we won't sign the FISA Act. I'm going like, oh, great. I hope they don't sign it. Bravo.
No, I was going to say, wow.
His crime is that he's not part of the deep.
Super.
Yeah, his crime is he's not part of the deep state, Eric.
That could be. I mean, qualifications aren't necessarily a bad thing. I'm not saying he has to be part of the deep state.
I just wanted to address that because it's making a lot of news out there.
Okay, well, FISA, I'm happy. I wish it would go away. Obviously, it's
well, they don't wish it. I mean, Trump's opponents in the rhino world love FISA. They love that court. Secret
the Patriot Act was not created by the Democrats. Okay,
right. I mean, it was created by those rhinos, and they want to keep it going. They want to have secret courts. I don't want to have secret courts. I don't want to have a foreign intelligence secret act. I'm sorry. I know that sounds crazy. You can meet behind closed doors, Eric, in the Senate and the House and judicial chambers. You don't need a secret court. We've seen the damage that it's done, Eric.
Well, Trump should know this. I mean, good God.
He's being quiet about it. He's being quiet about it. Yeah.
Yeah, Flynn should be testifying. I mean, and I think there's a term for it. It's called star chamber. And that's essentially what we have with the FISA court. It's ludicrous, and it's already been proven out with Kleinsmith because he changed the document quite literally.
I never forgot the day it was created, and I said to my brother, I never forgot the day, I think it was 1978, when it was created. I said, this is the end of American democracy. And I never forgot that day when it was created to this day. And that I was so outraged by this court thing. I think it was under Jimmy Carter, but you could check me on that. But whenever it was created, I remember saying to my brother that day, my younger brother, I saying, this is the end of us. This is the end. Yeah. I never thought we'd have secret courts in this country. I'm sorry. I know that sounds radical, but
the problem is that the people in power do everything possible to seize and hold power. That's not a party affiliation. That is a authority.
No, this is clearly a deep state move. I mean, this is everything Trump is against.
And he should be pushing and saying, you know what? Boom, get rid of it. I mean,
now, what about this Apache helicopter shot down? It's always an Apache helicopter. You notice that? I don't know why. Maybe they're vulnerable.
Well, because it's kind of like the Humvee in the air.
Right.
I mean, if you think about just doing the math, there's more Apache helicopters than any other.
But is it slow and big? Is it, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's engaged in battle. It is a battle helicopter. So it.
Well, this drone speedboat picked up the survivors. This is an incredible side story to the Apache being shot down, but a drone speedboat picked up the survivors and rescued them of the Apache helicopter, U.S. survivors, which I thought I didn't even know this existed, but what a side story to this rescue.
Yeah, I know. I did not know. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things out there we don't know necessarily.
We didn't know this one. We didn't know this. I didn't know it.
Well, that's a handy thing because it can be blown up without a person.
Yep.
So amazing. I don't know what is going to actually happen with it. You know, people are claiming, okay, if they shoot an American, if they shoot a craft or whatever, then it's going to happen. But we've talked about this, and it is getting frustrating.
Yeah.
I deliberately pulled this up because it's true.
What is it? 39 times?
40, I think now.
Oh, I was just guessing. Oh, weird. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
It's I believe it is. Well, there's at least 38. I think it's 40. But the point is that every time it's in 2 days, it's right around the corner. The ink is drying on the paper. It's just
in doing this. I don't understand what he gains from this.
I don't know either. And
I mean, please tell us. I mean, if he had any other, like a chief of staff, anybody who could come out and speak to the press and speak English, who doesn't speak Trump, I think it would be helpful. Because I think I remember Mark Meadows saying stuff to the press and other previous chiefs of staff coming out and saying stuff to the press. The only thing I hear from this grandma chief of staff to the press is, I'm not going anywhere. I mean, this defiance by Susie Wiles this week. I mean, this is a woman who has revealed she has breast cancer. And when someone in a newspaper article suggests that she's stepping down, defiantly says, I'm not going anywhere. I mean, when was the last time you heard Susie Wiles make a policy statement, Eric?
I haven't heard from Susie in forever.
Never. Nothing. Yeah. I mean, when he misspeaks, the reason you have a chief of staff, and this is separate from your press spokesperson, who has her hands full with a newborn baby and everything else she's got going on, is that you have to have someone to correct or interpret what the president meant to say by saying what he said. They don't have that. They don't have that. And you can blame Trump if you want all day. It doesn't matter. The point of the matter is, this is something missing from his administration. And when you have to say 39 times that a peace deal is 2 days away, you sound like a retard. And I love the guy. You sound like a fucking retard, to be frank.
No, it's frustrating. I mean, it's why say anything at all? There's nothing he has to say. You can just say it's an ongoing operation.
No, you just have your press spokesperson or your chief of staff say that naval embargoes take time. Be patient, issue a statement on camera, and not some military guy, mumbo jumbo in the Pentagon with military jargon. Some guy, usually the chief of staff, who comes out and says, what the president means to say is that we need patience for this naval embargo to work. It's working wonderfully, blah, blah, blah. Have a nice weekend. I don't know why they can't have that. I don't know.
I agree. Well, and here people jumping in. He doesn't want to publicize what they're doing for F's sake. We're saying just shut up.
Right.
We're not asking him to tell us what's going on. We're saying
no.
Stop talking about it.
Stop talking about
until you have an announcement. If there's no announcement,
it undermines the credibility of your own mouth. If you say, it's almost like the boy who cried wolf, Eric, right?
It kind of is. And here's the problem I have with it. And just so people understand, they just voted on a War Resolution Act in the House. And I feel that uncertainty is what caused them to vote against him. That makes Iran say, it's working. Hold on. Hold on. He's falling apart. He doesn't have the support anymore. So it's harmful. It's harmful. Of course,
it's harmful. And again, I'm a huge supporter of the president, but too, he's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, despite what people think we feel like. It's just not true. I mean, this situation has become so muddled and so unnecessarily muddled, Eric. I mean, it's easily fixable. This is not something that's irreparable. He's making it irreparable. Shut the fuck up, for Christ's sakes.
Please. Just please. Please leave us in the dark.
And stop going to the Knick game. You're going to cause riots in New York. Why does this guy have to go to the Knick game?
Hey, he's a big fan. Apparently he was ringside for decades.
He's a big fan. Big fan. Him and Spike Lee. They're all big fans.
And I do know that he, in fairness, Trump is a huge sports fan. And he knows the teams, he knows the Knicks, all of that, but it is what it is. But while we're talking about New York and we're talking about Iran, got this story here. NYC prof clamors to bring down the U.S. empire, defending the IRGC during Islamic Revolution teach-in at DSA. What is DSA? Democratic Socialists of America? Oh, great.
That's the ones giving the marching orders to Nithya Raman. If you look inside of
too, I'm sure.
Yeah, if you look inside of their rules and regulations, they want to get to zero police as soon as possible. I was just reading the DSA this morning. They want to get to zero police as soon as possible. They believe that the impediment to them and their brown shirt Nazi stormtroopers, the Negro street criminal that runs loose. Those are their brown shirts, these black disaffected ghetto guys who loot and rob. The thing that stops them is the police. These people in the Democratic Socialist Party are not committing crimes that police have to do anything about. They want the looting to continue and continue on because they believe looting is part of reparations, Eric. They support, and they've said this 8,000 times. I don't know why liberals and conservatives, to some regard, do not acknowledge what these people are saying.
That's true.
Read and listen to what they're saying. They're not making this up. This is their policy. They support no prisons. They believe that these people who are urban ghetto dwellers need to roam free and commit crimes. They don't believe property theft is crime. Why? Because they don't believe in private property. I know this is hard for you to get your mind around, but there's tens of millions of people who've gotten their minds around it. And they're called socialists. And they're in here with us, chopping away at the foundation of the nation while you're fucking playing golf, you fat bastards.
That is absolutely true. Their philosophy is you can't steal something that was already stolen. And according to them, essentially people who look like Mark and me stole everything from everybody. So that's self-service reparation. Yeah, that's... They might as well coin that as a term. That's really what they're thinking. Is that,
I mean, there's plenty of conservative, African Americans and Christian African Americans who are appalled by this, but that's not who they're targeting. They want this street army of George Floyds to loot, terrorize, rape, and pillage. They are encouraging it as part of their social destruction of the fabric of the nation. That's what I'm referring to. That's the ones that they don't put in prison because the judges were put there to stop these rapists and other criminals from going to jail. This guy stabbed 12 people at Penn Station the other night, a homeless guy. Been in jail numerous times, turned out every single time. Now he's beginning to put the fear of God into these people who are commuters because they were trying to go home for their suburban nuclear family life. And he started hacking them to pieces the other night at Penn Station in New York. That's what they want. That's what they want. That's why the judges keep turning them loose. Get over this, people.
And as far as people are questioning, it's like, well, aren't they worried? No, they have private security.
Of course. That's what I'm saying. It's not
themselves.
Nithya Raman lives in a mansion on a hill. She's not worried about this. She's not riding that metro down to work every day with that guy glaring at her and drooling who's smoking meth right there on the train. She's not worried about that. She wants to create, by their own admission, chaos to destroy the system that exists so they can rebuild it from the ground up. That's some political platform.
Yeah. It's and the biggest irony of all, because they're in bed because you have the whole was it green blue alliance or whatever,
the green red alliance
or green red alliance, sorry, with the communists. As soon as they get into power, these people who are coddling them, you're gone. They're the first to go. It's like, okay, good, now we got them, now get them the hell out of here. And you see over and over and over, because they'll be in a meeting and they're the ones that are, carrying all the weight and doing everything. And then they say something out loud and it's like, they look over there, you shut up.
There's a guy running for Congress in Newark, is Egyptian cat, who was the character witness to the blind sheik in the 1993 bombing of the World Trade Center. And he's going to go to Congress now as a member of an Islamic terrorist group that supported the blind sheik in the original World Trade Center 1993 bombing. That's the guy who came to court. This is the guy who came to court to be the character reference, Hunley, for the blind sheik in the 1993 bombing of the World Trade Center, now going to Congress to represent Newark, New Jersey. Do you think he could damage our country further from the inside when he receives intelligence reports? And we're allowing this to happen. They've got to stop foreign-born American citizens from being in positions of power in the country. I'm sorry if that sounds too draconian to you, but I'm tired of being ruled by judges from the Bahamas, congressmen from Pakistan, people from the Middle East, people from France and other places. I don't give a shit where you're from. I'm just tired of being told what to do by foreigners like Nithya Raman, who got her citizenship 2 minutes ago. And now, just like fuckface in New York, Mandani, who was born in Uganda, who did not become a citizen until 2019. I'm tired of being lectured on how America should run by someone who got here 5 fucking minutes ago. I know that sounds extreme. And I don't care if you could write editorials for the New York Post all day. You could, I don't care, but you can't be our rulers. I think we have to come together as a nation and decide that you can't rule over us. You could be a professor that's got its own issues. You could be an editorialist, a reporter, a TV host. You just can't be a ruler of us.
Yeah, haven't we just take the rules that exist right now for the president and vice president
and apply it down?
Yeah, and just apply all the way
downward.
Down.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know, just federal positions.
Absolutely.
You can be an appointee.
Yep.
You can be a potentially cabinet secretary, maybe. Oh, yeah. Yep. But no, you can't be.
You can't judge us. You can't be our overlords. You know, it's so top heavy right now on purpose. They have taken these people intentionally. At least the Biden administration did, from foreign countries who literally became citizens 5 minutes ago and said, "You're now going to rule over these American slobs." That's how lowly they feel about Americans. It's got to stop. It's got to stop.
I agree, and I could be wrong, but I'm curious. Is there any other country that lets this happen? Well, I guess England does.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, England.
Other than that, other countries are
it's sick. It's totally sick. I mean, it's saying I have such low regard for my nation. I'm going to let someone from the African nation of Idi Amin Dada, fucking Uganda, come here and run the biggest city of 8 million people, even though he filled out some papers illegally saying he wasn't a member of the DSA in 2019 when he was. And I'm going to look the other way and let this guy run the biggest city in the fucking country.
Yeah, I agree. Now, speaking of running things and getting jobs, it looks like, since Paramount won the bid and everything, much to the chagrin of the left, you thought, heads were exploding over 60 Minutes. This is going to make them really blow up. Here's Barry Weiss may be running both CBS News and CNN's.
She's the Marco Rubio of media, Eric. This is great.
It is great. And I don't know. I'm just laughing my ass off thinking about how rough this is for him. Scott Pelley's doing his sulking tour right now, which is hilarious. Yeah. Like, I had no idea why this happened.
I had no idea.
Oh my God.
There's a new sheriff in town, you pieces of shit.
Well, think about this for a second, because two of the worst networks are CBS and CNN. So it's like, I mean, all you have to do is take care of MS Now, and it almost be a parody, between, well, I'm not going to say, I mean, Barry Weiss isn't even a right winger. That's the funny
part. Of course
not.
She's a middle of the road Democrat.
Liberal. What we would call a liberal 20 years ago is what she really is.
Yeah.
So good on her. Good luck to her.
Wow. And, just a great story. It's a great story.
I'm sure that we will hear from our friends on the woke right who will say, well, of course, because she's Jewish.
Whatever. I just lean into it now, and I just go, that's right. We run the media. What are you going to do about it, bro? I just lean right into it now. We run the entire world. What are you going to do about it? I just go in the other direction now, because it's such a farcical argument. What about Trump storming out with what's her name yesterday?
Well, okay, yeah, I have that article. It's kind of like I know that he stormed out, and I know that she was begging him or whatever.
I mean, he was already there for an hour.
Out after a freaking hour.
He was there for an hour. What is he? She wouldn't stop asking him stupid questions.
Right, and I'm sorry. I'm like, okay, he doesn't need to sit in there forever. If the interview is 10 minutes, she should be happy. I don't know. What is the length of time? Let me see if there's
elections are crooked. and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked, and so is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But Mr. President,
you're one-sided crooked network. So let's call it quits because I've had enough.
Yeah, me too.
Mr. President, let's please. I
Goodbye.
traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I traveled
all the way.
I know. I
I've sat in
traveled
the rain
all the
with
way
you
to
for an hour,
Wisconsin.
on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time.
That's
You wanna
right. He's
straighten
right.
out your press, because you know what?
Mr.
What a
President,
piece of
Country
shit.
can never be
we
great
traveled
with a
all,
dishonest
listen,
press.
we
Come on, let's
traveled
go.
all the way to Wisconsin for this.
Why does she keep saying that, Eric?
Oh, because it's just he has a soft heart. Everybody
Right.
calls him this horrible, nasty,
She
blah,
flew to
blah, blah.
Wisconsin. She flew to Wisconsin to interview the president. Tough shit, lady.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Are you
if there's
kidding
people
me?
fly to Russia to do an interview, what's going to happen then? Sorry, you get 20 minutes. Tough shit.
Dude, she gets paid $3 million a year to fly in a luxury jet to Wisconsin. What are you kidding me?
And even then, he still patted her on the shoulder. You know,
It sounds like she flew to fucking Taiwan or something.
Please, Donald. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean,
and she didn't fly coach. I'll tell you that much, people in the chat. She wasn't flying coach.
Oh, and what? Did she do it on her time? No.
No,
Was she paid?
she's paid to do it.
I mean, good God. Again,
I can't believe I have to go to Wisconsin to interview. She was almost like defaming Wisconsin.
mm-hmm.
Like I flew to fucking Wisconsin, you piece of shit president.
It's so horrible.
You made me fly to this cheesehead fucking state that has my favorite team, the Green Bay Packers. How dare you, Mr. President?
I do like how he listed off not only her, but like every news source.
I know,
out
that
there.
was
He's
cool.
like,
That was
and
good.
ABC, and NBC.
And your mother, and your horse you rode in on, lady.
But wow. And then I'm thinking, let's do it as a comparison. How many hours did Biden give any of these people?
Zero.
I mean, the longest one would be like 30 minutes. They'd be like, oh my God, he could hold a sentence together for that long, or his concentration. So it's just ridiculous. But all right. So revisiting or following up on a story we covered recently, we got the gold bar guy.
Oh yeah, he's back.
David Rush.
Yeah. He set up a phony network, right?
You got to give this guy some credit, but if he, it sounds like he made up some shit. Everything from his resume to even while he's on the job.
Dude, I mean, the only thing the other shoe that could possibly drop was that he was working for a foreign intelligence service at this point, which is like the story. Yeah, right, Eric?
Yeah, that's probably still coming.
Yeah.
But then this guy, I have a feeling, is just a good old-fashioned con artist. And I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't scam foreign interests as well and is just pocketing money at every direction.
You know, what good is it unless you're living large? This guy had to go to Langley every day, drive in his car in that traffic for all those 17 years instead of, I'm not saying he could have or he didn't, instead of living large with that money. In other words, he really couldn't enjoy it because he was hiding it for 17 years. Okay. Now I think the plan was for him to retire and then, go to Costa Rica and go crazy.
Well, there's a term, because I've done, some coverage on Robert Hansen, Aldrich Ames, and Robin Dreek, who I've interviewed from the FBI. He was in charge of intelligence. He claimed that Robert Hansen was a wound collector. I'm like, that's an interesting term, but this guy is probably similar to that. He doesn't think that people appreciate him for how brilliant he is.
Don't know. Yeah.
And he's smarter than everybody. And he's actually, he's not celebrating the money, but he's getting off on the fact of, look at all this and I'm taking under their noses. They're so stupid. I'm more brilliant than all of you together. And Hansen had that. Aldrich Ames had that. I kind of feel like we don't know if this guy had that, but you're onto something. He may not. I'm speculating.
Yeah, we don't know.
But,
we don't know.
Sure.
That's a year. leading the witness,
It's
Your
the
Honor.
personality of it.
Mr. Hunley is leading the witness, Your Honor.
That's right. That's right. And it's called YouTube commentary.
YouTube commentary, Your Honor. Your Honor, Mr. Hunley is unqualified for this commentary.
That's correct. A competence is not promised, guaranteed, or even alleged.
Your Honor, he's just merely bloviating his own opinions at this point, Your Honor.
That is correct.
Can we meet in chambers to discuss this, Your Honor?
That's true. By the way, the use of bloviating and pithiness had to be the contribution of Bill O'Reilly. I know that they existed, but nobody put that into
nobody. He invented that. And he's still on YouTube doing the same thing. I mean, I wish Bill O'Reilly would come down to our meetup in Anaheim, California, where we're going to be next week, where we will discuss, and they will still be counting ballots in the Steve Hilton gubernatorial when we have the meetup with all our loyal followers on June 27th. I believe Hunley and I will be still discussing this in our live show on Saturday night, June 27th, which you're all invited to attend and enjoy the buffet and the incredible ambiance of the Anaheim Marriott. We hope you can get a room there with the FISA warrant or the FISA World Cup. I think there may be no difference. Is it? I
think it's FIFA.
I don't know, but it's either the FISA World Cup or the FIFA World Cup, but it's going on.
It's a FIFA warrant and a FISA Cup.
Right. Something's going on at the same time, but we'll be down there meeting with each one of you individually. You can air your grievances at that time. You could bring some swag or books or crazy crap for me, but not for Hunley because he's got to fly back. But I could drive my pickup truck filled with your books back to my lair in Hollywood, California, and then analyze them. There's a secret code that Eric has created for you to use to get a room there. And believe me, the rooms are like the breasts of the woman in the Seinfeld episode in the steam room. They are magnificent. And as her plastic surgery breasts were told to Julia Louis-Dreyfus in that Seinfeld episode. Now, we're going to, here's a type of food that you're going to be sampling. And there's a lot of good food. There's a cash bar that you could drink until the cows come home. We couldn't care less. And there's this teleportation device underneath the mothership.
But when you're ready to leave,
when you're ready to leave, you get aboard the ship here and you go straight up back to where you came from. And this is the futuristic lobby. This is the meetup room itself, where we will be hosting ballroom dancing after we move the tables out of the way. It'll be everybody ballroom dancing or roller skating, depending on if they can get that floor rug up, and then we could skate around the room.
And Colonel Ingus, no, there will not be free booze. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Booze will not be free, but you.
Yeah, why would we do that, Colonel Ingus?
Yeah.
Why would we do that? That sounds like a death knell. But there is, you can buy all you want.
Absolutely, and you can buy each other drinks, and
you can buy each other drinks, and there's plenty of room to roll around in there. This may be the most elegant one we've ever had, to be honest with you. The Harvest Flame menu that I've selected based on, I was offered 3 different menus to choose. I could only choose one. So I, for whatever reason, chose this one because of what was on it. It seemed like, with the combination. Yeah. It had meat and it had meat. Yeah, and salmon. So I figured this menu would be the best one for the entire group. I had to pick one. Sorry.
Yep, and there should be plenty of food. And I think that everyone will enjoy themselves.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
All the meetups have been.
All the meetups are great. I don't know how many we've done. Only do you know offhand how many we've done?
I'd have to think about it.
Yeah, I never thought
several.
About it. Have we done 10?
Well, we've done Alabama. We've done 2 in Florida. So
Youngstown, Ohio. We did Dallas.
Dallas isn't a meetup. We did Vegas. That's like 6.
Oh, we met up.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say though, I don't count doing the JFK conference as a meetup,
right? But it's still a meetup. I mean, it's. I mean, when you're the bulk of the entire conference is your people. I think that's I mean, which is true. I mean,
yeah, that's true. And we do have our lawyer on hand. Nithya lawyer will be hanging out in the
he'll be
audience to
handling
make sure
any
that we're on track and can
he'll be
advise
handling
on
any
cases.
legal grievances you may have against the channel. Please bring
Exactly.
your documents to Nate.com, the lawyer, and he will handle all of those complaints. All right, well, there it is. Do what you can, you fat bastards. You still got a couple of weeks to get your shit together. It's not that short of a time, but it's enough time for you to get there and enjoy it like the rest of us.
Yep, totally agree. And maybe we can get this done before China finishes capturing us while we're there.
Yeah, how China captured California. Yeah, this is interesting because this is an article. We can't go into the whole thing, but it really begins with Newsom exchanging the cities between China and San Francisco when he ran San Francisco. It shows how Newsom began this bizarre relationship between China and California. It starts with him as the mayor of San Francisco, exchanging dignitaries and then exchanging trade with the sister city in California. And of course, this allowed spies to come in and become the mayor of Arcadia.
Well, I happen to have a story on that.
Oh, really? Oh,
what a coincidence. I'm seeing you're trying to do
weird.
This cool transition, and holy cow, look at that. But it's not her, it's her fiance.
She's now claiming her fiance, who looks like, I just want to show you a picture of the fiance, who looks like that. May have been influencing her for the communist Chinese people that were running her as a mayor of a city in California. The two of them together are about to be sentenced is where this is going. And she's trying to deflect that she was under the communist influence of this cat here, Dr. Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Her ex-fiance, she claims that this guy was.
Yeah, and I'm shocked, I tell you.
Well, the point is, it started with Gavin Newsom as mayor of San Francisco. It spread to Nancy Pelosi. It started with Dianne Feinstein, who had the communist spy as her driver. That was after Newsom started doing this. So the new Communist Party of China has penetrated deep into California and may have taken California, Washington, and Oregon as the sphere of influence that they now do not control de jure, but de facto. Their sphere of influence has expanded down the West Coast.
No, I agree.
I mean, there's a reason that FDR interned Japanese Americans was because the Japanese had penetrated California and had a huge sphere of influence. Some of it I'll cover tomorrow. I'm doing a story on Lucille Ball, who may or may not have been a communist. It's a fascinatingly insane story. Her grandfather
joined it, didn't she?
Oh yeah, she registered to vote.
And didn't her husband talk her out of it, like saying, no, life sucks in Cuba, you got to get out of that shit?
No, he just tried to get her out of the House Un-American Activities Committee investigation. Okay. No, she signed up and became a party member way before she met him. And her grandfather, who lived with her, was a leading communist who worked at the studios as a prop guy, holding Communist Party meetings in the garage of their house. That's tomorrow. That's a story for another day, but that's tomorrow.
Desi Arnaz. Sorry, I couldn't.
Desi Arnaz.
He was not a communist, though.
No. In fact, he spied for us in 1941. FDR sent him down to Mexico on a goodwill tour because he spoke Spanish. He went down with all these other movie stars, but his job was to eavesdrop on Spanish dignitaries and find out what they were talking about and report back to the State Department. Desi Arnaz, a virulent anti-communist for sure. But nevertheless, he owned the ranch that Sirhan in 1968, 48 years ago this week, was a jockey at in Corona, California. His ranch was owned by Desi Arnaz, who had up to his neck, I believe, in intelligence operations. We'll discuss.
Are you going to go into the fact that Star Trek exists because of?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, because of Desi Lu. Absolutely. Mannix exists. the Untouchables. We'll go into that whole thing tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Cool. Speaking of communists, I always think of Star Trek as being a communist.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, they put a hit out on Desi for how Italian slanted the Untouchables was the first year. It was totally racist, Eric. And finally, they went to certain mob figures and said, we put a contract out on Desi Arnaz, and they went to him and he laughed. And then he realized they weren't kidding. And the next year, if you look at season 2 of The Untouchables, and I'll shut up about this. If you look at season 2 of The Untouchables, all the Italians disappear in season 2.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're all gone.
All right. Well, this is probably something you're covering on your other show, but I don't care because we've covered it and we're going to follow up on it. Nick Reiner is very upset and he wants access to his trust fund so he could rehire Alan Jackson. Now, I have issues with this because I'm sorry, if you're on trial for murdering the people who gave you the trust fund, I understand we may want to say, maybe we're not going to give you access to that money. Maybe that was an incentive problem.
We'll see. 2 o'clock tomorrow, I'll be covering this. On, celebrity crime. No, it doesn't matter. It's celebrity crime and rehab. But you're right, Eric. No, I mean, Eric's right about what he's saying, and there's other people who think the opposite because he's not been convicted of anything.
Well, and I am curious, and people comment on this later because it is kind of a. If you let him spend the money of the people who killed, I mean, it's
but he's innocent until proven guilty is the point. He can write a book right now. The Son of Sam laws do not apply.
That is true.
He's not been convicted of anything. That's what people can't get their mind around.
Well, how about the Menendez brothers? Were they paying with their inheritance or not? I can't remember.
Oh, that I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. Well, they spent so much so quickly. Remember, they went on a spending spree literally the night they killed their parents, buying cars and jewelry.
Limited time, dude.
Well, theirs was clearly motivated by money. I mean, they said it was motivated by money. Right. You know what I mean? I mean, the reason that the district attorney, Nate Hochman, not to be confused with Nate the lawyer, wanted to keep the Menendez brothers in jail, and he succeeded, was because their crime was so monetarily driven, according to their own statements and actions. I mean, he was successful in that. They almost got out.
Yeah, well, he had to work at keeping them in because his predecessor literally signed off on it. That was his last act. If I
he's
recall.
Now going after judges. This is fascinating. He's at war with these leftist judges now, calling them out case by case.
Ooh, I like that.
Hochman is. I can't believe what I was reading this morning in the Post. He is naming them and going at them. In other words, a case comes up where somebody killed somebody, and he recommends 8 to 15, and they give them 9 months. The judges are now giving the sentences way below what he's recommending. And he is going nuts over this.
I love that, though. I love the idea.
Me too.
Of telling
me too.
Me too.
I didn't know who these judges were. They're showing pictures of them, their names now.
Wow. I just saw a super chat coming in, and this is one of the topics that we were covering earlier. So I'm just going to use this from Charlie FLA. Mark Groubert Adamus, main primary today. How will Graham Platner fare against Collins in November? It's an interesting question.
If he's there, Eric.
Well, this is the scary thing. Did you see this? They just had a poll, and it's insane. It was a poll in Maine before they said anything. So the initial poll was Susan Collins 43.7, Graham Platner 43.1%, undecided 13.2. When the voters were informed of Graham Platner's scandals, he went up to 48 and she went down to 40.
That's one way of interpreting it. I mean, there's still 12% undecided, and Collins has not opened up a machine gun campaign against him at all. So, I mean, this is so premature. I mean, did you see her commercial? Yeah.
Well, that wasn't her commercial. That was a PAC because she.
No, that's what I meant. I meant the
I was gonna
commercial
say,
on behalf of her was quite devastating, Eric, right?
well, not for him. That dude has no shame. I mean,
No.
really,
But for voters, I mean, it was just a devastating commercial to the main voters. The guy is so far left, and so I hate to use the word progressive because he's actually a Marxist and a communist. Progressive is sounds too nice. I don't like to use that word at all because it sounds like they're ahead of you. They're progressing ahead of you. Nevertheless, I don't think he can beat her one way or the other. To answer the question, I mean, if the guy's asking me, can Platner beat Collins? I don't think so.
Okay, well, I think that Collins has proven to be far more formidable than people.
And as Eric pointed out indirectly, she's always been behind in the polls in every election she's won so far.
And it's interesting matchup though too, because Collins is, whatever you want to say about her, she's not known as being a firebrand, uncouth person.
More importantly, she's not known as a Trump. She's not known as a Trump person. More importantly, for her sake up there.
No. She's
what is he going to say? You're with Trump? Okay, good luck. She has a million ways to skin that cat.
And Susan is pointing out that Platner admitted being communist. Yes, I mean, if you look at his stuff, I mean, he's leading her talking about, if I had my way, elections would take 6 months, it'd be government funded, and billionaires would be charged for commercials. Or so. I'm like, you're a psycho. I mean, he just
good. Let's get it on. I mean, if this is if they get voted in, they will not be voted out. What people don't understand, ask Adolf Hitler how that worked in Germany in 1933. They utilize the machine that's there, that's been given to them, and then shut off the gears.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, look at the liberals behind him, the so-called soft liberals like Chuck Schumer, who's behind. Now, Bernie's obviously a Marxist, so but I don't count Bernie Sanders. He's doing what he does, being Bernie Sanders. But Schumer and these other people are supposedly left-leaning liberal mainstream Democrats, and they're quite willing to put communists into the Senate.
Or my favorite with like Ro Khanna, who's so concerned about the Epstein victims. Believe all women except for the Platner women. They're okay. Okay.
Well, there's going to be, if you believe, I'm sure that there'll be more dirt coming out, Eric, right?
Wow. Yes, I mean, every time you turn around, supposedly it's it. But some of the voters and the people supporting him are just insane. I saw a clip, and there's this woman. She's being asked. She's like, they're like, well, what about his Nazi tattoo? And she's like, yeah,
they don't care.
And then they asked her, well, if he had a Jewish tattoo or Star of David, would you have a problem? Yes.
I'd have a big problem. I have a big problem because I am a Nazi. I must tell you, I am a Nazi.
So
when you vote for Nazis, you become a Nazi. It's a political party. I mean, I don't know how complicated this is. I'm voting for a Nazi with a Nazi tattoo. Does that make me a Nazi? Yes, I'm sorry. That makes you a Nazi.
Well, I know it's hard.
You're a Nazi. You voted for a guy running in the Nazi lane of the Nazi party.
Yeah, well, it's hard to
argue. If you think you're such a hotsy-totsy, why don't you join the Nazi party? I mean, this is, apparent to anyone who's going to vote for this guy. He says he's a communist. That's interesting, but he's also, he doesn't have a tattoo of Joseph Stalin on his chest. Let me put it that way.
No,
he doesn't have a hammer and sickle on his chest, does he, Eric?
No, but what was it? Somebody on X was sharing an AI shot of Bernie dressed in a communist uniform standing next to Platner in the Nazi uniform, which is pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the most telling event in American commie history was the Soviet Nazi pact, and when they joined forces with Hitler for a year, and everybody switched allegiance to support Germany in the Nazi-Soviet alliance that was brief. Everyone in Hollywood now who were denouncing Nazi Germany in 1933 switched over to embrace Nazi Germany because of the Stalin pact with Hitler, and then had to go back when the pact was over. I think it was because of Operation Barbarossa. They had to, not only did they have to switch, you could read it in books and newspapers that they're switching to embrace Nazi Germany in 1933, 34, and then go back the other way. These people are quite willing to bend themselves into pretzels, Eric.
That's true. That's true. All right. Well, while we're talking about Epstein and concerns with that, apparently Jeff Bezos likes to hang out on
Dude, this guy knows how to party.
Island.
He knows how to party, Hunley.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
God knows what Bezos is up to. Who knows what this maniac is doing down there? I mean, he may be doing crimes far worse than Epstein, and nobody knows about it because he does not have a Jewish star hanging around his neck.
Yeah. Oh, so wait, what? Oh, I see. So Tom Brady and his new girlfriend, I guess, are down there.
Okay, I support that.
I mean, I don't care as long as everybody is an adult and wants to do whatever. That's
even
cool.
Jimmy Buffett. I thought Jimmy Buffett was dead.
He is dead.
Okay, well, what is he doing? He's got a gig down there, Jimmy Buffett.
Apparently,
he's wasting away again in Margaritaville. Letterman's down there from Ball State University.
Yeah, he bought Jimmy Buffett's property.
Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. Okay.
That's what ties this.
You're telling me Letterman's not a freak? I mean, this guy's the biggest freak from late night TV that ever existed.
Yeah. And who do we have here? Lauren Hutton to Fleetwood Mac, Paul Simons, Rolling Stones, all at St. Barth.
Paul Simon was at the Hollywood Bowl the other night and did not sell out. I just want to point that out.
You know who did sell out? That was Rush, and everybody's going bonkers over the new drummer. Looks like she's doing a good job, and they're like, she's no Neil Peart. I'm like, what are you going to do? Get a seance? He's dead. I mean, it's not like.
Well, I mean, if you're going to tour, I mean, you gotta. Sometimes you get the son of Neil Peart. You know, you get the son of the guy.
Sure, but I don't think there is a son.
No, I don't think so either. So.
They've waited a lot of years, and it's like,
well,
look, she's a pretty renowned drummer. I don't know why everybody is so hung up on it, and she's not trying to say I'm Neil Peart or whatever. He's just a drummer. But anyway, interesting story there. I saw this story. This is a frightening story.
What?
Parents sued. This is OHSU, so that's Oregon Health and Science University. The parents had a 13-year-old girl. They said that the daughter was dying. They did surgery on her, and it didn't work. She was dying anyway. They took her somewhere else, found out that they installed her heart valve upside down.
No, that's so dark, bro. That's sad.
It's almost
as sad as that IBF story.
Is also highlighting the importance of learning CPR. It comes ahead of the heart and stroke walking.
Going on here. I can't when the tab jumps in. Sorry.
There was one. I don't know if you still have it, but there was one with the mix-up where the couple got the black baby through. Dude, I don't even want to look at it. It's so sad, Eric. They have to love the baby for the rest of their lives. They can't bring them back, Eric.
Well, it's kind of an adoption type of scenario. I mean, you could treat it as such, I guess.
Right. But, now, I just want to say, this is the doctor. Just look at this guy. Hold on that guy for 1 second. I just want to say something. The guy's filed for bankruptcy. He's closed the place. Now he's an employee of the place, whatever the story is. This is the guy that you went for artificial insemination, IVF, whatever you want to call it. And I want you to look at the baby's face, but remember this guy's face. Okay.
That's what I was thinking. Oh,
my boy. Welcome to the world.
Like he might have had a shortage and, he needed a donor.
Ah, there it is. There it
is. That, by the way, that's not the first time that's ever happened. There have been some doctors who fathered.
Yes.
But
I mean, like, what are these poor people supposed to do? I mean, they're stuck with this baby. They can't bring him back. And they didn't have the receipt. They put it on their charge card, and now they have to love that baby as if it is their own. I mean, that baby, there he is, and he probably used his own semen thousands of times to recreate himself in the wombs of unsuspecting women.
Yep.
Oh my God! What a dude! He looks just like him. It's so ridiculous. He's still working there, and he's not in charge of it. Nobody's in charge, and he's still working. This is in Orlando, Florida, for people who are following this and want to avoid similar mishaps.
Yeah. You may want to check these things out ahead of time. So, all right, let me see. We have some super chats, which we always appreciate. Let's see. John Springer's been a member for 7 months. 7 months already. Wow. Looking forward to Anaheim. I look forward to it as well.
Springer, you're on the board. Welcome, Springer.
We'll see you there.
This is, of course, the son of the famous talk show host, Jerry Springer, out of Cincinnati, who used to be the mayor and then did the Jerry Springer show. So it'll be great to hear him tell stories about his father.
Dad and his Pulitzer Prize winning newsroom out of Connecticut. So he's full of stories.
Okay.
K-Dog, we need to realize there's no negotiating with people that are in it for all or nothing. I'm guessing that's Iran, but probably.
Oh, yeah. You might be talking about Iran. Yeah, I don't know. Like, how long do you negotiate with these people?
Well, again, we really are in a bad situation. Because if you have one side who doesn't care about the people
living,
dying,
you
can't say, "Oh, look, I'm making it miserable for your people." Okay.
Well, okay, what do I care? I don't like these people anyway.
In my opinion, they have 70 million human shields.
70 million who I'd say 60 million of them do not believe in the theocratic way of life that they believe in.
No, they're just people.
So they're expendable. They're expendable. They've been westernized. They're just wearing the burqa at the point of a gun.
Exactly. And if anything, I would argue that the at least some components of leadership probably are happier getting rid of half of that population.
That's what I'm implying.
It's great.
That's what I'm kind of implying.
William Ratcliffe said, and the Pentagon/CIA don't need an audit. Don't know.
What Ratcliffe was, I don't know what Ratcliffe was talking about, but there hasn't been an audit of the CIA, I believe, since 2002. But it's been decades since there's been an audit. And he's talking about the gold bars thing, I think, maybe.
Probably. That might be it. And I'm sure they did. Because of the damn 9/11 and Patriot Act. It was like, oh, no, you can't dare question the CIA now. We're all going to die.
Legally, you have to do it. I don't know. I mean, you still have to. The Patriot Act did not make them bulletproof for audits. They have to be audited. I don't know. What is the biggest fear? You're going to find that the gold bars are missing? The guy already stole them.
The guy, I mean, boy, he's a... I look forward to the trial and things coming out, but I bet you there's going to be
I hope it doesn't go behind closed doors.
Oh, there's going to be a deal. He's going to make a deal.
He's going to make a deal.
Because it's embarrassing to them. It's one of those that they don't want to try.
Well, if I'm him, I'm calling the head of the CIA as a character witness.
Yeah, you let me do it.
I mean, I'm calling what's his face, the guy who was Obama's guy at the time. I'd call him as a reference. Guy who was
Eric
there.
Holder? Wait, no,
not Eric Holder. What's his face?
Leon Panetta.
Panetta, I'd call as a character witness, and then watch how quickly the trial goes behind closed doors.
Yeah, I'm very sure. All right, Gen X Craig said, "Is chicken bone sandwich, Dr. Pepper, and menthols on the dinner menu?"
All three of them are there, and you could build your own sniper's nest out of the empty boxes that Eric's bringing from Virginia. So you can assemble them any way you want, any sniper's nest you want, take photos of it. It's so funny because in the Warren Commission report, it goes into detail of what a chicken bone sandwich is. And then friends of ours from Texas have explained to me that it's a real thing. Like the chicken leg is in the bone. The bone is between two pieces of bread. And apparently the Warren Commission found this to be unusual as well as me.
Insane. Well, it is kind of unusual.
It is unusual. I mean,
chicken sandwich is cool. Most people don't like the bones, but
right.
Save time.
How do you avoid the bone as you're eating the sandwich, though? I guess you just press down on the bread. This is, of course, Bonnie Ray Williams, the famous employee of the Texas School Book Depository, who was eating his chicken bone sandwich at the time that Oswald was supposed to be doing something up there. But the sandwich itself, I never really understood that.
Well, I mean, it technically is the ultimate po' boy.
Does the po' boy have a bone in it, or
I don't know that po' boys have bones in them, but they're inexpensive sandwiches, for poor people. And he wasn't exactly a rich dude, so yeah, you're gonna grab whatever chicken you can, fried chicken, throw it in there, put the bread, and call it a day. I understand it. I wouldn't want to eat it myself.
The Warren Commission was quite befuddled by this.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, and who made up the Warren Commission? I'm sure that
people who were Northeast liberals,
exactly.
For the most part. There was a couple of good old boys on there,
right.
But somebody must have known about the chicken bone sandwich, because it seemed confusing to me.
And I'm not saying that it's definitively. I'm just saying it's essentially a po' boy.
The menthol cigarettes all day. I believe the menthol cigarettes all day, and the Dr. Pepper all day. That makes sense. The whole thing makes sense, to be honest with you, except for the bone in the middle of the sandwich.
True. All right. Bird hunting fool. I wonder if that's a Cheney reference. Shame Dorothy Kilgallen can't interview the president.
Can't review the president.
Yeah, I'm assuming there was a typo.
Review the president.
I don't know what an interview review is, but okay. Right. So I'm just assuming it's interview, but okay. It could be either. I won't argue with it.
When you begin to read the hundreds of thousands of gossip columns by Dorothy Kilgallen, her expertise in the assassination begins to diminish.
But Mark, she was revealing it the next day.
Yeah, it was the next day that she was coming out with this. But nevertheless, I don't think people really can wrap their minds around the fact that she was a gossip columnist. Forget about everything else. They just won't accept that she had thousands and thousands of gossip columns, and that was her Walter Winchell area of expertise. Like Hedda Hopper, like Luella Parsons, based in New York in this case, those two famously based in Hollywood. She was essentially Luella Parsons.
Right. My big issue with this, it was 16 months. I mean, it was like the slowest quieting I've seen in a while.
Yeah, it was 16
normally
months.
they try to do it within a week or two.
16 months after she interviewed Ruby, she expired, and as I said before, she had a drug and alcohol problem before she interviewed Ruby.
All right, Pamela out of Texas. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you, Pamela. It's great to see you. Galveston County Mike saying, so if someone voted for Sleepy Joe, are they a PDF file? I don't know about that.
What does that mean?
PDF file is what they use as code for something that sounds similar.
No, that's a code for a pedo?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
For you, it's the YouTube code. So
okay. I never heard that before. Interesting.
Yeah.
Weird.
Let's see. Edward Gloffler with $50. Thank you very much. Another good one. I won't make this meetup, but absolutely will make one soon.
Right on. That's good to know.
I hope you do.
Hope you do.
And we will miss you either way. But who we will not be missing
is
our peeps on Locals. And you can
yeah.
always be headed over there.
Yeah, that's true.
You can be a member there for free.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the shows, no commercials. If you're a supporter, you can interact. You could post yourself. It's like having a really cool Facebook group or chat thing. You've got other material that is, exclusively for supporters, even though there's a lot of material for people, for free too. The best stuff obviously is for paid supporters.
The out of print PDFs, speaking of PDF, the real PDFs,
these are files.
Out of print books are there for free for members only. And I recommend, and I'm talking about out of print Kennedy books that are worth thousands and thousands of dollars that I've put up as PDFs for members only.
All right. And before we go, we got a snuck in Rumble rant last minute. King of Biltong saying premium Biltong from Biltong USA, high protein, keto friendly, no additives. U.S. source beef, authentic South African flavor. Get some at BiltongUSA.com. Use code AUS for 10% off.
Good stuff.
So, barely made it under the wire there, Anton.
Good stuff, though. Still good stuff.
Absolutely good stuff.
Dodgers, Pittsburgh tonight. 3 games in Pennsylvania. The great city of Pittsburgh. One on my bucket list stadiums that I want to go to at the Three Rivers Convergence. Buckaroos tonight. Doesn't look good for them.
Wow, and somebody else who really sneaking in, Kitty724 on the Rumble rant saying, Eric, you're looking younger. Mark sharing his Hollywood secrets. Tee-hee, respectfully coming from a 65-year-old who loves you guys a lot, with a kiss emoji.
What secrets did I reveal? Did I reveal secrets?
I don't know, but we will reveal secrets in locals, where we're heading.
Yeah, we're heading to reveal some secrets over locals. It's going to be really, really explosive.
And dark.
And dark. Yeah. Holy
Deep,
crap.
dark.